24 hours after Tuesday's historic hearing in Washington, D.C., the buzz here at the Scottish Open was still all about that hearing and what PGA Tour officials were able to tell U.S. senators and maybe more importantly, what they weren't able to tell them about the framework agreement.
I just think that yesterday we didn't really learn a whole lot again. As a player on tour, we still don't really have a lot of clarity as to what's going on, and that's a bit worrisome. You know, as they keep saying it's a player-run organization, and we don't really have the information that we need to kind of. I don't even know how to comment. I watched part of yesterday, and I didn't learn anything. So I really don't know what to say.
I think they've certainly tried to. The communication, there's been a lot more emails coming through and regularly to make sure we feel like we're at least kept abreast of it. So, you know, it's a process, isn't it, the whole thing? I mean, there was a reaction from the start, and now trying to find some kind of ground where things can move forward would be good.
You said there was a reaction from the start. Do you feel like the temperature in the room, at least among the players, has maybe toned down a little bit?
I think that's probably right, but that normally happens over time. But I don't think any of that actual position seems to change, but I don't know that for sure either. So, you know, still trying to fully understand the framework, and hopefully we can move forward and get some resolve on things soon so we don't have to keep doing this.
What do you think the next step in the process is? You are a member of the PAC and you will go to the policy board next year. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, hopefully it's all solved before I'm on the board next year. Yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, I think that the tricky thing for a few guys who are on the PAC and certainly on the board is kind of balancing actually playing golf and, you know, managing this. It's a lot that's come onto their plate, and, you know, for this week and next week, I'd like my head to be squarely into the golf.
I can totally see why guys would be a little worried with not knowing how it all works out and what the details look like going forward. I mean, how does the PGA Tour look like it does today? Is there massive changes to the PGA Tour? You know, maybe not next year, but in the years to come. You know, what does the financial side of it look like? What does the playing side of it look like? What does the guys who went to LIV, what does that look like in sense of incorporating them back into the PGA Tour possibly? So there's a lot of details, and you know, for me, you know, obviously I've talked enough about this over the last, you know, year, 18 months, and I'm sort of burnt out from it, to tell you the truth. And I'm just sort of, I'm always a very optimistic and glass half full kind of guy, and I believe the PGA Tour is doing the right thing, and they're going to figure it out and have the best interests of the PGA Tour going forward. That's the way I've always looked at it, and you know, they haven't shown me wrong in my 14, 15 years on the PGA Tour, and you know, have I been slapped in the face a few times with some things they've done? Sure. But for the most part, I think it's always been for the betterment of the PGA Tour, and you know, I'm hoping that this deal is for the betterment of the PGA Tour and the longevity of the PGA Tour going forward. So, you know, like I said, I'm always on the positive side of things, and you know, I'm not one of those guys that's sort of looking at the negative or being pessimistic about it. So, and you know, if I get called out, I get called out for it at times. But like I said, I gotta believe that the people I know at the PGA Tour, not only as a sort of working relationship, player to, you know, executives, but also some of those are become really good friends of mine living in Ponte Vedra, and I know them on a personal level. So I know, you know, they're always trying to do best for the PGA Tour and the players, and I think they will, as they always have done.
Well, yeah, sure. I think from the very get-go, to have the independents on our board and the player board members have no idea that it was going to happen is, I think, relatively unusual for a business. And then since then, just, you know, with our commissioner having to leave for health reasons, and then just the continuation of hearing and seeing things about certain categories of what the deal might be different week to week, you know, we just don't really know what's going on. I think getting into a position where communication is better leaves us in a position to where we could actually even see if we want to entertain what this could look like. And that's, this has nothing to do with the agreement itself. I mean, it's simply just getting open lines of communication on a member-run organization at the board level, and before we could even decide if this would be something we'd even want to even entertain. So we're put in a position, in a place where we may or may not have even wanted to decide this, and it looks like we wanted to do this, and a lot of people are upset because we made the decisions not to, to go to LIV for any number of reasons that people had, and all of a sudden, it kind of comes back around and makes us look bad when we haven't even had any say in it. So that part's tough. We feel like we're in between a little bit of a rock and a hard place. I think there's some good that can come out of it, but it's going to require quite a bit of work between the players and our board pretty soon.
Now, you hear players talk about improved communication since that framework agreement has been announced, and probably a primary example of that is what's happening this week at the Scottish Open. There's multiple tour officials here talking with players about what the next step is. Probably the biggest part of that is to improve communication and try to change the narrative, both with the media and the players.